Ooh, welcome back to another episode of the Cookout. Happy Saturday, everybody.
What it do?
What's going on? How you doing? Good to see you.
I'm alive. I'm here. Happy Saturday. We survived another COVID week.
Yes, we did.
Another week of 2020 of the year is almost over, ladies and gentlemen.
Getting closer and closer to 2020.
We are out here.
Yeah, this year's been floating, man. What's up, everybody in the chat? Let us know who's in here. Say what's up.
What it do?
Oh man, we got a lot to talk about in this episode. It's just gonna be us two, I believe, as far as I know, as far as I can tell.
That's cool.
Which is fine. I think we'll have everybody. Well, I think JBM will definitely be back next weekend.
Nice.
So yeah. But yeah, how's your week? How you doing?
No, how you? You already asked me how I'm doing. How are you doing, Coop?
Good, man. Shoot, it was a quick week actually. It was a short week for me. Got to Saturday camping pretty quick, man. Like last night, I was like, dang, man, I'm already dreading Monday.
Yeah, this moved fast. When'd you get back from the parentals?
Monday, I think that was Monday. Yeah, Monday.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. Different Thanksgiving. That was I don't think we've ever had Thanksgiving where it was just us.
I've never had a Thanksgiving like this. I mean, we made it work, but it's kind of whack. But health, it's important, I guess.
It's very important. Very important.
Right? We could have the 2021 Thanksgiving of a lifetime. Invite everybody over.
Yeah, for real. That would be amazing. Hopefully we can get this stuff out of here. I think there's a lot of things happening in the world that are contributing to some behavior that is due to COVID. I think one of those things is this Leticia Wright thing, if you're ready to get into that. I don't know. What do you want to start, man? Because I'm
okay. So on one hand, I don't think there's a sane American that feels comfortable taking this vaccine, knowing how much this administration has lied to us. I'm talking about the COVID-19 vaccine. So I understand people saying I'm not with it, but Leticia Wright took it, to an extra step, an extra biblical step that I don't think the internet was prepared for. And she's also an anti-vaxxer. Which is just, I mean, it doesn't get people canceled, but it's not necessarily a good title to have.
Yeah. You know what where my opinion is and what my opinion is on all this with this, the Gina Carano stuff, like all of it in general. We've been in the house too long, and we just need people. We just need these people to be too busy to tweet and to be on Facebook. That's what we need.
Down, please. And then
we just got to get COVID out of here.
I was like, you know what? But after, like, my mind went to Black Panther instantly, and I was like, you know what, sis? Don't even worry about it. Like, I'm gonna just pretend like I didn't even see that, and I need her to be in her good mind for next year. But then did you see that she was liking tweets saying just cancel Black Panther 2? I
didn't see it. See, that's the reason why I ignore all this stuff, because people just do I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, I'm here to enjoy your performance on screen, and whatever else you got going on outside of that, it's none of my business unless you're doing some like nefarious like things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree. So she needs to stop now. Like
I'm saying, they just need to be busy. Like normally they'd be too busy to say and do this stuff on social media, and we wouldn't have known. It's possible.
Also, her and Gina are like two sides of like not
the
even
same coin.
No, you can't even say the same coin, because they are two completely different extremes.
No, it's the same issue. It's the same issue. Right, it's like it's an opinion-based thing that they are entitled to have, but it's kind of like, bro, why are you up here on social media with this, like knowing the influence and like how the internet's gonna take this, because you can't win in that situation.
You know,
like the internet is going to beat you.
First, do you want to let the people know what Gina Carano was saying?
Hold on.
Uh-oh. I would step in, but I don't remember word for word. All right. What did Gina say?
Basically, she's a Trump supporter. And I think she's also an anti-masker and some other stuff. Like, so it's like, you know, all of it's like
put all the anti-vaxxers and all the anti-maskers in a bubble together and just let them stay.
That's what I'm saying. They're all on the same coin, but it's just like, bro, that to me, it in my opinion, that shouldn't cost you your job. But good God, please find these people something to do other than be on social media, because it's just destroying their brand. Like
the Black Panther
I don't even
do too much. She better shut up.
Yeah,
or they better just pretend like they don't even see that.
We just need COVID. We need COVID to go away. Get these people back into their regular routines and schedules where they're booking roles constantly 24/7 and they're just too busy to tweet. That's what we need. That's what we need. Goodness gracious. But yeah, that was fun. And I didn't dive into it. I saw the tweet and I was just like, I rolled my eyes and I kept scrolling because I was like, oh God, why?
Yeah, I'm definitely I agree. I have to wash my hands of the situation and
just
what's up, Mr. Cooper?
What's up, Ma? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Bookworm, I haven't seen you in a while.
Bookworm, what it do?
What's good? What is good? What's happening?
Welcome
back.
Put them in the
bubble, see what Nick does. Yeah, you know, to me, it's like, yes, those are opinions that you're entitled to have. And if you want to be an anti-vaxxer and you don't want to vaccinate your kids, okay, cool. That's your prerogative. That's your decision. You have the right to make that decision as a human being. But if you don't want to wear a mask in public or you're anti-mask, whatever. This is where
anti-vaxxer. If you don't want to wear your mask, stay away from me. If you don't want to get vaccinated,
exactly, just don't
get vaccinated.
Don't put anybody else in danger. That's the thing. Like there are people who they're going to wear the mask, they're going to wear gloves, they're going to be in like hell. There's probably people that walk around in full PPE gear out here in this situation. They have the right to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can take this as serious as you want to, but you got to respect everyone else's right to be safe. And everyone's right to their personal health. And like, yeah, if that's your opinion, fine. But like, why are we on social media doing all this crap? Like, for what?
I don't know, dog. You know what's crazy? When like a celebrity is trending now on social media, I used to have like positive hopes, but now it's like, did they die or did they say something really bad?
Exactly. Social. That's the social beast, man.
It's always crazy.
Yeah, I'm just like, to me, that's like that's a matter of personal opinion, but I also understand how that negatively impacts that person's brand. Because if you lose favor, especially in Hollywood, like if you start losing public favor with whether or not you agree with their decision or not, like the other studios and people are looking at how social media is responding to what they're saying online, and that's going to dictate whether or not they can get certain roles. And that's just the reality of the situation. Because if they look at that and go like, yo, they don't really like this, if it starts trending for her to be like removed or replaced by Black Panther, that's really going to hurt her brand.
And I could have sworn that, I want to say it was 2018 or 2019, Leticia Wright was in the most box office hits. Like as far as she was the number one, not the number one paid, but movies that she was in, she was the number one actress in movie making that year. Like as far as the money that I'm wording it wrong, but if you
She was
account,
in some high grossing films.
yes, and she was like the number one actor or actress period that was in those films. Like she was in the ones that made money, and I want to say it was 2018 or 2019. I need her to ride that wave.
Yeah, because she
And
was in. That's when it was when Black Panther came out, and then I think what
no, I
else?
think that was Infinity War. Or, excuse me, Endgame. She was in Endgame, and
when did Black Panther come out? 16, 17?
2018. Endgame.
Yes, so she had those two. She had two big. She was in two huge movies that year. Then, because yeah, Black Panther and Infinity War came out in the same year. I thought, because I think Black Panther would have come
You're
out
right.
in
It was
February.
2018. She was the highest box office earning actor of 2018 because of Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, The Commuter, and Ready Player One. She was in the top 4 highest grossing films of 2018. So you're right, it was 2018. And Infinity War came out later that day. You're right. That year.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and that's the thing when these people should have publicists that handle their social.
People have publicists.
They should, but they don't. They have to hire someone to run their social media account for that reason, and then make a private one. Make one that is anonymous, that doesn't have your profile picture on it, doesn't have your name attached to it. No one could trace back to you. And then you send that to your friends and people that you know.
They need Finstas. The whole world knows that Beyonce has a Snapchat, but we've never seen it, and we'll never know what's in it.
Exactly. Most celebrities do. Like they keep their social media accounts because they know that that's a business account. Like that is their brand. That is how they represent themselves and their brand online. So their personal things are on a separate Twitter that no one really knows about, except for the people that they want to know, or want to have it. And then, they let someone else run their business stuff. And it's like, yo, come on, bro. Like it's just a smart thing to do. Like everybody needs to do that. Like all of Hollywood, if you're watching this right now or some point in the future, please just let someone else run your social media account for your own sake.
It's sometimes, for the most part, it's better to say nothing than to say something. There are much fewer occasions where saying nothing will get you in trouble. More often than not, saying something will.
And that's why you need a publicist.
Like, we're not talking
they are professionals at knowing what the right thing to say is. That is literally their job. Just let them handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, she did. Apparently, I see. Like when I saw the thing about her being anti-vaxxer, that's when I was like, all right, I'm just let that go. Just leave that one alone. So I missed that part.
She didn't say that Black Panther 2 should be canceled herself. After her tweets, people started tweeting, yo, just cancel Black Panther 2, and she started
wow.
So other people were like, yo, if this is how this is gonna go down, y'all might as well not make the movie. And she started liking those tweets on socials.
So that just made my point right there. I didn't even know that that's what had happened. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's the danger of it. Like with her and anyone else that has done this in the past or that will probably do it later on. That's the risk you run. Like if you're saying something that you should know is going to be very polarizing, that's going to affect your brand.
The woman playing the smartest person in the universe.
Yeah, it's like, oh god,
she's literally playing the smartest person in the universe, not Earth, the universe. Leticia, baby, if you watching, we praying for you. I'm praying for you. I ain't praying for Gina, but I'm gonna pray for Leticia.
They are smarter than that.
Yes.
Anyway, that's all I got to say on that matter.
Me too. I think we can move on.
Okay, show up. Wait, lost my. Where are the notes?
I think we're on to Jay-Z and
Yeah.
Netflix. Jay-Z is executive producing the book 40 Acres, written by Dwayne Alexander. It's about a lawyer, a Black lawyer living in Jim Crow era in New York City. It's a thriller, and that's all I know because I haven't read the book, but I'm excited to read the book because so far everything that Jay-Z has influenced film-wise has been really good. Like, I mean, it's a sad thing to watch, but the Khalif Browder documentary was very well made. It comes to mind. It's a very rough topic, but still exciting. My only concern, not necessarily a concern, but I'm really tired of watching things set during Jim Crow. I just am. It's taking a toll. And although I think there's stories that need to be told, that have to be told, as a Black person, it's just still uncomfortable to watch this stuff. I think, did we have this conversation when or before Lovecraft Country started on camera?
Yeah, I think we did before. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we had this. We've had these. I think we've had multiple conversations on this topic.
I remember we spoke about how, you know, who's in the writer's room is important. Like, I think it was Lou who made it known that, you know, they made sure the amount of Black life that was taken on camera was less than the amount of white lives, so that, you know, Black people would not be so stressed each episode. You know, when things are said in that time, we're used to seeing all of the violence put on us, and it's just difficult to watch. And then we compared it to, or at least I know I compared it to The Boys, the episode where Stormfront tore up the apartment building and attacked everyone in there. Do you remember that? Where she like let her racism fly and she was zapping all the Black people, and then she killed the Asian man on the roof.
This was in season 2.
Yes, well, I didn't forget it because it was hard to watch this lady like just straight jack up these people, and that's when I realized, like, yo, she's racist because she was just killing Black people for no reason in this building. And I compared it to, you know, the writing on Lovecraft Country, where the writers knew, you know, Black people watching this, it's going to be a difficult topic for them at all. So watching this is going to be painful, and then to see that in The Boys, knowing that probably wasn't even a conversation that was had. You know, there probably were not enough Black people in that room to say, yo, this is going to hurt some people. Like, it just wasn't even a thought. They just wanted to say, oh, yo, she's racist. Let's show how racist she is by having her kill up a whole bunch of Black people. So that being said, I hope there's, you know, some sort of cushion for what we're going to see in this film. I am going to take the time to read the book. I have like a list of 45 books I need to read. I still haven't read Dune, and it comes out in a couple weeks, even though I bought it. But I definitely want to take the time to read that so that I know more about it. I just know the setting is going to be uncomfortable for us in general.
Yeah, I definitely gonna watch it. I don't normally have issues watching these types of films.
I do. I feel
especially if they're informative. Like, because most of the time, like, if I don't know, I can't think of an example of when it's been like super like gore heavy or anything like that. But it seemed like, as long as it's informative to me, it doesn't bother me. Like, especially if it's like historically accurate. Like, the accuracy is more important to me than anything else. Like, because I'm learning about something or getting more information on something that I knew about. So yeah, I mean, as long as, and I'm pretty sure it will, because I know he's going to take his time and do the research and make sure it's as factually accurate as possible, and that the portrayals are on and that the story is not lost in whatever the takeaway will be is what I'm going to be looking for in it, because I guess the way I look at it is because it happened, it's important for it to be documented, and it's important for it to be known, and it's important for us to never forget these things happen, because they are liable to happen again. And the reason why they keep popping back up in the pop culture is because they're still relevant, and that's just the I guess the harsh reality of it. Like, they wouldn't be making these if they weren't relevant, and so that's just the reality of it. And so for me, like, the more it's exposed, I'm like, I look at it as like there are so many stories that we have no idea because they've been buried in history that have happened that were like super horrific, that anytime anything comes to light, I'm looking forward to it, because it's like now we get to know more of this picture, because like there's so much of it that we just don't know. Like we're looking at it through a very narrow lens, and the more that lens opens, the more, for me, I'm like, I appreciate it, because it's like, great, now we're getting a bigger view of the picture.
I definitely agree. I think just comparing the Tulsa episodes in Watchmen and Lovecraft Country, I think they definitely filmed them in a way that it was easier to watch than it would have been if it were made with a white gaze. And I do think that's an important part of these stories being told. I think we need to be telling these stories because, I mean, they're for us. Not that the world shouldn't know, but they affect us differently. And as long as we continue to tell these stories, I think maybe I'll feel a little bit more comfortable.
That's true. That's very valid.
But I am going to read the book. The author, say his name again, Dwayne Alexander Smith. He won the NAACP award for best literary debut for this book. This was his first book. Every website that it's on, it has at least 4 stars and mad reviews that tell a whole bunch of plots. And so I'm leaving that alone from now on, because I done spoiled some stuff for myself already and I'm mad.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Definitely good to know your past and lessons learned. Can't get frozen there. Need to have balance. Yeah. The balance. That's a very valid point too.
Maybe that's what's lacking.
It is not balanced. That's true. Like, usually it's always the horror stories for the most part. But we
have a lot of horror stories.
Yeah, like from a business, that's what sells. Like, that's why the news is always dark and evil, and I'm like, just because the bad news is what sells, is what gets people interested and invested. Like, our minds are just wicked in that way. But yeah, we do have to balance that out with like some positivity.
I think, or even if they tell the bad stories, telling more recent stories would help too. Like, there are things that go on in other communities that get a movie within 3 years, and
on top, and when they do, we gotta support it. Like, that's the other thing. Like,
facts.
You gotta go out and support it just as much as you do this. Like, this, because if this documentary is going to be darker, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, then if they make a one that's more upbeat and uplifting, you got to go watch it. You got to go support it, and it has to get the same amount of love and attention that this one is going to get, because they're going to look at it from a monetary view, from a business lens, and go, all right, well, this grossed X amount of dollars. This one didn't do so well, so we're going to not do these more, and we're going to focus more on these types of story, because this is what sells. Like, that's just how they look at it.
I agree. There are a lot of unknown films made. There are a lot more moonlights than what we know about, and we definitely need to support those films more.
Facts. So yeah, man. So, and this is going to be on Netflix. Do we got a release date for this?
No, I think the contract is signed, but like they're still casting. I do believe that Mike Epps is involved.
Okay, so they're still in it. So deep in pre-production is where this is. So
but
definitely
we know
keep this updated.
Yes. And the next time I have an update, I should have read the book by then.
Oh man. Yeah, so next up on the docket, we got Disney Plus and Hulu possibly merging. And I'm gonna say this is what I'm gonna say about this.
Mm-hmm.
When Disney purchased Hulu and then they announced that Disney Plus was coming out, I was like, why? Like, why don't you just merge the two? Because these literally happened the same year.
I have two opinions. Well, something to add to Hulu is trash. Not necessarily the content, but the layout is awful. So I am not opposed to Disney Plus taking Hulu and sucking it within itself and just destroying the Hulu layout because it's awful. But on the other hand, I can't help but think about when Disney was considering buying Twitter. Do you remember that? And one of the executives, there was a quote. One of the executives,
Bob Iger, the president, the CEO. He
was like, "It's just too nasty."
He said, "No." What he said, the nastiness is just unbelievable.
Yes, the nastiness of Twitter is wild. And so, although
that's one of the best quotes of the 2010s.
I mean, it was nothing but facts.
It was. It was very factual.
And so my only thing is I can understand Disney buying Hulu, but merging the two and having the same content on the same app is a little odd to me, knowing that Disney, the app itself is pushing family on you. When you first on the app, it doesn't matter what you've watched. What the last thing you watch might pop up in the top bubble. Like for me, it's always The Mandalorian, but the next thing is always a Disney movie. They sucked me into watching Black Beauty. I watched it again.
They don't suggest anything to me, but Marvel and Star Wars, they know better.
Oh, I get all the suggestions.
They know. They're like, we tried him. He's not budging. They know why I'm here. The only reason I'm on that app is because of Star Wars, and they know this. They have learned their lesson.
They're not messing with you no more. Well, they're getting me, and so I mean, parental controls are a thing. I'm kind of thinking about that, but yeah, just the pure nastiness that shunned them away from buying Twitter. Like, I mean, you're about to have an app full of nastiness on, Disney Plus right now. So that's the only thing that I thought was weird.
Hulu has X-Files and Golden Girls. Hey, man. Hey, if there's anything I know, that is his Star Wars. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. X-Files and Golden Girls.
I'm weak.
He's been watching those two shows for as long as I've known him.
X-Files still terrifies me, but I did like the little reboot that they had. We gotta talk about that show one day.
Bro, X-Files is like the reboot's trash to me, but the X-Files, the original show, was like, it was a documentary. It was a documentary. That's how I feel about the original X-Files, because I was like, yo, what?
Listen, Scully and Mulder had me shook. I'll never forget one night an episode came on. Is when I was living in Brooklyn and my mom put a TV in my room. Mommy, I know you watching. I don't even think I told you, but there's an episode of X-Files that scared me for the rest of my life. I could still see it when I close my eyes. And I was so terrified. I didn't get up to turn off the TV because I didn't want to move. Yeah. And to this day, like I went and I Googled some pictures from that episode. I am still just as scared. Like nothing has changed. So shout out to X-Files. You achieved whatever you came to do.
Bro. You know what? The X-Files inspired an entire generation of 90s conspiracy theorists. It is solely responsible for all of the 90s baby conspiracy theories. Like that show did it.
I was in a chat room listening to people talk about their alien encounters the other day for like 4 hours, just listening to these people. Yo, you are correct.
I'm trying to tell you, like, where do we get any of these conspiracy theories from? X-Files. Like it's just facts. And then they gave us the internet, and then the internet reinforced all of these X-Files theories. Like the current state of alien conspiracy is based on the X-Files. Like that is the foundation.
I believe
that is the literal foundation for us. Yeah, Reboot was trash. It was horrible. I watched the first episode and I was just like, it never got better.
One episode where Scully and Mulder like went out to eat after work and everything was electronic. So like there was a self-driving car. They went to a restaurant where there was no waiter, no hostess, like everything was made by robots. That's the only episode that I was like, yo, like that took me to that Black Mirror episode where everything was controlled by your status on the internet. I was not okay, but everything else, yeah, whack.
I swear, didn't they have an episode too about like the bees disappearing?
The X-Files?
Yeah, in the X-Files, like there's an episode about like the bees like disappearing, and or maybe I might be getting this mixed up, but I feel like maybe I wasn't. Maybe I'm wrong. I think I might be getting Doctor Who mixed up.
Here go the comments again. What's up, Keen?
You know what?
He woke up today and chose violence as usual.
He did. But I know better because I was on Xbox Live with him earlier today and he was taking care of his son and he was in a great mood. So I know all of this animosity he's put in this comment section is all false.
Mm-hmm.
It's all false. Fiction. It's narrative. Oh man. Okay, so yeah, back to the Hulu thing in Disney Plus. Like, yeah, that's you're right. They got this family thing, right? And the problem is HBO Max that's the problem. Like HBO Max dropped and applied immediate pressure to everybody in the industry. And we're about to get into what they just did this week,
and then talk about how it's going to affect Disney.
But HBO Max is really trying. They have the best chance right now of taking over Netflix market share. Like they can do it. And if Disney wants to compete, because as far as I'm concerned, and according to Bob Iger, I mean Disney Plus is going to be his lasting legacy. Because he has stepped down from the CEO position. He's now like I think a board. Like in an advisory position right now.
Mm-hmm.
But like that was the last thing. That was his final act as president of Disney, was to create Disney Plus. And like he wants this to be a competitive thing. Like he wants it to be able to compete with the best streaming services and platforms. They got to diversify their content. And I think them having Hulu and Disney Plus separate is just not a smart move. Like no one wants to pay for both of those services. That first and foremost, like you either have, I don't know what the bundle numbers are. Like I don't know how many people have paid for the full bundle with ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu Plus. Or Hulu.
I paid for Hulu and Disney Plus separately, and I need to look into how much the bundle costs because maybe
the bundle is $12.99. So if you're playing for both of them, you should probably just not do that. Yeah, don't do that. And just look at ESPN Plus as a bonus. Like if you're paying for both Hulu and Disney Plus, like,
I'm getting everything I can.
Yeah, like you can go ahead, save your money and bundle that. I don't pay for Hulu. I had Hulu for like 2 months and they didn't have any original properties that I was interested in. They had a lot of stuff from the 90s, which was like cool, like real like nostalgic. They had the X-Files. But other than that, it wasn't really anything on there for me. So I dropped it and I hadn't gone back to it since.
I think I would say they do have FX on there for Hulu, and FX and Hulu have some originals that you might be interested in. But I think Hulu's layout is just so stupid. You know, you're not going to find what you're interested for anyway. You have to look really hard just to find the things that you want. And its suggestions, in my opinion, don't really correlate with the other things that you've watched on the app. everything I've ever watched on Hulu, I saw elsewhere, searched online, saw that it was on Hulu, and then I went to Hulu to watch it. It was never a suggestion from Hulu. By the way, if y'all didn't watch Sputnik on Hulu like I asked you to for the last 2 weeks, you whack.
Yeah. HBO. Well, so Hulu and Amazon Prime are in competition for the worst interface in streaming. Like they're just horrible. Those are the worst. I hate searching for anything on either of those platforms. And the biggest problem with Prime is that they have so much content on there, and that layout is horrible. HBO, or not HBO, but Hulu seemed it was way too complicated for the amount of content that they had on there. Like it seemed like they just made it overly complicated to mask how little content they had up there. That's just what I felt. That's how I feel like when I was
scrolling or Amazon Prime.
Through Hulu. Amazon Prime has just too much stuff up there. Like, and I get confused on what's Prime and what's like what I'm not paying for. That's the problem with Prime. Like, I don't know what I'm not paying for.
Why do they do that? Like,
I have no idea.
Amazon Prime, so you need to show me what's on Amazon Prime. Showing me 35.
I don't have the Prime app for you to show me everything that is available to watch on Amazon. Like, no, I'm not paying for all this stuff.
It's worst.
Yeah.
My dad has some opinions on HBO Max. He says HBO Max is stumbling out the gate. Ooh. And then from the New York Times, the streaming service has been too little, too confusing, and too late. HBO Max is limp with only 8.6 million activations, even though the traditional HBO cable service has 38 million subscribers. I don't disagree, but the New York Times, they be hating or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm HBO Max regularly. I think maybe because people have the regular HBO, they don't realize that there's other content on HBO Max. And I do think HBO Max needs to advertise more. The only reason why I know is because of, I had both of the HBO apps on my phone and one of them stopped working and I realized, it's HBO Max now. I don't think HBO Max has really taken the time to advertise themselves. And I think that's because HBO usually doesn't have to advertise themselves. If HBO has a show, you already know it's going to be good. We didn't start seeing Game of Thrones commercials until season 2 or 3. And that's because the show was just so big. But people were watching it from season 1 because it was on HBO. So, yeah, I think HBO is just relying on its own fame to get HBO Max going. And I don't think that was enough. However, HBO Max and Warner Brothers made a little deal, and I'm feeling like this might change things.
Little deal. This is not a little deal at all. This is a huge deal. Like, so Warner Brothers announced that it will be dropping its entire 2021 movie lineup on the day of release on both HBO Max and in theaters simultaneously next year. So all of their properties, if you have an HBO Max subscription, you will be able to access that day it comes out in theaters, same day. That is a monumental move. What's that?
That starts this year though with Wonder Woman and Dune, right?
Technically, yes. So, and the reason I didn't include that is because they were specifically talking about their 2021 lineup. I think that this is a preview of it. I feel like the Wonder Woman thing, they've just finally decided, well, we may as well include it in this launch, but they've officially decided that going into next year, they're going to release movies on both platforms, which is brilliant. Like, that's going to change. If it's successful, it's going to change theaters.
I got a list ready. Go through it.
Yeah. If you got the list up.
Mortal Kombat releasing January 15th, 2021. We already know what that is. The Little Thing, starring Denzel Washington, Rameek Malek, and Jared Leto. I don't know too much about this film, but that drops in January 29th. Tom and Jerry have a movie coming out on March 5th. Many Saints of Newark, March 12th. Reminisce, April 16th, starring Hugh Jackman. It's a sci-fi drama. Okay, there we go. Godzilla versus Kong, May 21st, 2021.
And that's a blockbuster. So that's a huge one. Like that's huge.
And then I didn't even know this was coming out, but The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. That's the third Conjuring movie, and that's like what the sixth.
That's another blockbuster
in that franchise.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big one. Or no,
I think all of the other films, films are up on HBO Max now. I believe.
Are they?
I think some of. Let me double check.
That's The Conjuring 1, Conjuring 2, Annabelle 1, Annabelle 2, The Curse of La Llorona, and The Nun. That's 6 movies. So this movie will be number 7 in the franchise. It's basically The Conjuring 3. Geez, we're only halfway through the year and the list is still growing. I'm hyped about The Conjuring 3. I didn't even know that was coming out till just now. They better drop a trailer or something. Give me hype. You still looking?
It's not streaming. It's not streaming.
Okay. Maybe that'll probably be something.
They'll probably add that. I mean, I'd imagine because that is a Warner Brothers property. They'll probably add that to HBO Max's lineup too, because they'll be releasing the properties that aren't, movie releases throughout the year as well. Like I could see them bringing over other properties as well.
Okay. Then In the Heights, a Lin-Manuel Miranda film coming out June 18th of next year. Space Jam: A New Legacy, July 16th. We already know that's some people feel a way about it, but I'm gonna watch it. Suicide Squad. I'm gonna watch it regardless. Suicide Squad, August 6th, 2021. Going to be a whole lot of boom and bangs, regardless about how you felt about the first one. They spent a lot of money on the second one.
It's explosions, yes.
Basically, that's what
if you saw the teaser trailer that they put out like around I don't know if it was for Comic-Con or around Comic-Con, but it was back during the summer. That trailer was what?
No acting,
65%, 70% explosions.
No acting, just bombs.
Just bombs.
That's the whole film, just bombs everywhere. Dune. Wait,
huge.
Why did I think Dune was coming out this year?
I don't know. I let that slide.
Okay, I got time.
Well, because I'm like, yeah, it's gonna come out, but
maybe Wonder Woman. I don't know, but hey, I got a whole year to read it. It's lit.
Wonder Woman is the only one this year that's dropping.
Got you. Elvis, the biopic starring Austin Butler and Tom Hanks. November 5th, 2021. King Richard, November 19th, 2021. That's about Venus and Serena's dad. That's the Will Smith.
Oh, I heard about it. Yeah. Will Smith is playing his dad. Yeah. Okay.
And you already know we hype Matrix 4.
Huge blockbuster. Man, okay, I low-key hope things are safer and the theaters are okay back then. I can't say for sure whether or not I'll be in it, but I feel like that movie deserves to be seen in theaters. And if not, if anybody has surround sound and a ginormous TV, I'm gonna be at your house. Here's what's going to happen with these COVID films. Like a couple years down the road, when everything is back to normal, they're going to re-release all these films that were scheduled in theaters. That's what's going to happen.
And guess who's going to pay for them?
Everyone who wanted to see these movies in theaters is when they're announced that they're going to and watch the ones that have the budget for it, especially like the big blockbusters. There'll probably be some new movie theater technology out by then, and they're going to re-release them in that. George Lucas did this with Star Wars like 5 different times. So I can't of course they're going to do that. And then these last 3 don't have dates yet, but Judas and the Black Messiah, starring Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield. That's the Fred Hampton story. Hampton movie. Yeah, that's coming out next year, but they don't have a date yet. Malignant, starring Annabelle Wallis and Jake Abel. I don't really know what that is, but it's looking like it's going to be an action film. And then Those Who Wish Me Dead, starring Angelina Jolie, Tyler Perry. Hey, he's acting again. It's not his movie. That's what's up. I liked it when he was an actor. But I don't know what it's about, so we'll see. Oh man. Yeah. So that's a tight lineup. Back when was it? When Disney Plus announced that they were putting some films out going straight to streaming, um to me that was like the writing on the wall for a lot of these studios, like saying that like they weren't that interested in maintaining these this partnership with the theaters that they currently have. Like, to me, it just, if you can shift to a more digital format and you have complete total ownership of your distribution as um a studio, that's probably, it's the smart move. And if this works for HBO Max and Warner Brothers, and if they see like this format working, like when we get the returns next year on these films and it's positive, like every other studio is going to try to do a similar thing. Like, you're going to see this a lot more with Disney is going to do this for sure. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear that next week on the December 10th call with Disney, because Disney has already announced that they're changing their, because that's what it was. They announced that they're changing to a digital strategy going forward, and Disney Plus is going to become an integral part of their business model. And I was like, back then when they announced it, I was like, that's not a good sign for theaters. Like, if I'm a theater owner and I hear that, I'm going to get nervous, because if it can work for Disney, the other studios are going to copy that same format, because COVID has just, it's changed the landscape of just a public everything. Just weird. It's going to be so long for us to go back to normal, even after COVID is done. What we knew, the life that we lived before COVID, it's going to be a long time before we get back to that point.
Not even thinking about the movie theaters. You ever watch a TV show or a film from like last year or the year before, and like it's a whole bunch of people and nobody has masks on? My first thought is like, why don't they have masks on? Like, I can't even imagine a life that's not like this. I'm not gonna go to concerts the same way. Everything is gonna be different for a long time. I'm not going to the club. It's just COVID city in there. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, those are, there's, I concur. Um but also, even if you take out COVID, right? If you look at the tendencies of the next generation of consumers that are not millennials, like who's what, the alphas, and who's after us?
Gen Z
And the alphas, right? The way they consume content, Gen Z is after us, and then the alphas are after Gen Z.
Why are they called the alphas? Because they
went to the Greek alphabet. So they're the alphas, and then the generation after them are going to be betas, and so on and so forth.
Trying to give them cool names, they were just like, forget it. We're just going.
Yeah, we're just gonna. Yeah.
All right.
They just copped out real quick.
Shout out to Gen Z. They ended on a high note.
For real. I mean, we the last one with a unique name, millennial. But no, like, so the way they consume content is all digital anyway, for the most part. Like, they're not, and they're too young right now. But the trend, it's trending that they aren't like the most prominent moviegoers. And for the most part, like, of course, they've got to get their parents to go to the theaters, but most of them get their content online. They grew up in the streaming era. Like, they were born into it. They've not known life without streaming.
Right.
And so they're completely content with not going to a movie theater, because that's just to go watch the Avengers. Like, that's just the only thing that they had at the time. But for that generation, if they would have been just as fine seeing it, at home on their laptop or on their phone or like on their TV on Netflix, just as we were excited and content to see it in theaters. Like, that's the reality that the theaters are having to face now too. And COVID has just kind of accelerated all that for the studios, because they realize that the streaming services are growing in popularity, and the younger consumers are the ones driving that change. And if they want to survive, they're going to have to adapt to them and their tendencies. And so like they've got to. This was bound to happen. I just think COVID has just accelerated the rate at which it's happening. This also means that Netflix is in trouble too, because they're going to need some studio partners that will agree to distribute on their platform as well. Because unlike Disney and HBO Max, they're not studio owned. Where that, that's now becoming a disadvantage, because now you got a company like Disney that owns Marvel and Star Wars, which are like the top blockbusters right now for summer releases, as well as HBO and Warner Brothers partnering. Somebody's going to snag Universal. If whoever Netflix would be crazy if they didn't snag up a partnership with Universal.
They're working on it right now, I'm sure.
Like they have to be, like, because if they don't, like, they're going to be in trouble.
Isn't there a Fast and Furious movie coming out next year?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I just assumed that one's coming out every year. I was like, all right, there's another Fast trailer. Sure, cool.
Got you. I think that's that. So they need to definitely work on that.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I'm really not surprised by this, but it's still like wild to hear that they've moved so quickly on it, because I mean, they really just stole Disney's thunder, because it's no it's not an accident that they put this information out this week. They knew that Disney had their investor call next week and that they were going to make a bunch of huge announcements about Marvel and Star Wars and a bunch of shows that are coming to Disney Plus, and probably some movies as well. So they just got ahead of the storm, which once again, that's just a smart business move.
This will be the second time Disney was outsmarted, because the way they handled Comic-Con was pretty trash, and DC like stepped all the way over them with the DC Universe thing. That's the
them
second pulling that.
Them not doing anything for Comic-Con, as well as them canceling Disney Plus and Star Wars Celebration this year, and not switching to a virtual format. Like that was a horrible business decision, because to your point, the other DC came in and stole their thunder.
It was called FanCon, right? DC FanCon?
DC, or Fandom, I think.
Fandom. That was the most entertaining thing of the year. Besides like the versus rap battles, it's been versus and DC FanCon. Like I still haven't forgotten about that. And it didn't seem like they were working on it, since last year. They planned that this year, and I think they did a great job. So
yeah, and it would have been in person too. Like it was going to be an in-person event, and then they just switched to a digital format. Like they just decided, okay, we're going to have Zoom calls. Like all these panels are just going to be done on Zoom. It was an easy thing. It's not that, well, the networking and setting it up and all that. Yeah, that's complicated, and it's time consuming. It's going to take a lot of time to get all that coordinated and what have you. But it's like, it's not impossible. Like Disney Plus could, well, not Disney Plus, but D23 could have still happened, and Star Wars Celebration could have still happened. Just do it virtually, like, which is strange. And Lucasfilm is turning 50 in 2021, and they're not doing Star Wars Celebration this year. Oh, in 2021 is happening in 2022, which I'm like, why wouldn't you have they better have maybe they'll have something on May 4th. Or whatever, but like that would be insane if they don't do anything in 2021. At least they have to do something virtually for the fans.
Like, dang, y'all stole my birthday.
Huh?
I said, do you ever feel like, dang, y'all stole my birthday? Like, I wanted to go out, but now I need to be in the house and watch this.
No, like what? That's like lit.
Got you.
Star Wars Day being my birthday, like what? That's like one of the best birthday presents ever. I'm guaranteed some Star Wars content and news on my birthday, like guaranteed. It never fails.
That's facts.
Whether it's like trailers, video games, something, I'm getting something on May 4th Star Wars related constantly. This is a great thing.
That's hilarious.
Great thing.
Got you. I think, is that it? I know there's some people in the chat who have been preparing for this week's community discussion since last week.
All right, well then.
And my uncle have been texting me separately about this conversation, and I've I had to share a bit of the show notes with them to help them out because they were really like, trying to break it down. But last week I asked you guys what were your favorite film fights in film. And that was, or most epic fight scenes. And that was a little too vague, and there were a lot of just genres that you could go into. So we don't necessarily have to rank these by genre, but I did want to throw some genres out there as options. You don't have to pick one. If you have 45 fight scenes, you can give them all to us. But as far as categories go, I came up with assassins, superheroes, martial arts, sci-fi and fantasy, and then monster films. Now, some of those categories are interchangeable. Like, for example, The Matrix, could fall into martial arts and sci-fi. So you can pick either if you want, or both. But it was just to, make things a little easier. Because I guess, I should have either given a category last time or given you guys all of these, but I know it's a lot.
Yeah, no, this is a quite an interesting topic because there's a lot. It can go very like numerous ways. It's kind of like horror, honestly. Like it's so my question is, because we hadn't talked about this off camera, are we including battles or just like one-on-one fights? Because
battles are just no battles.
No battles.
One-on-one
okay.
Fights, or
because that's like
dang, you know what? Now that I said that, my choice is gone because I think it's technically a battle. It's not a one-on-one fight.
That's what I'm saying.
One-on-one.
I'm good with it. Maybe we can do that. Maybe we can do both. Like we can start with fights and then we can go to battles. Because there's some like Lord of the Rings,
so
epic scale battles where you've got armies fighting each other, because there's some battles that have been choreographed brilliantly.
I think maybe we'll have to separate them because
Battle of the Bastards was also a great choreographed fight.
How many people makes a battle? Is it just more than two? Because if that's the case,
I would say it. So what I would qualify as a battle is you got two standing armies, at least two standing armies, right? I would say the end game battle that's a battle. That's not a fight. Yes, that's a battle.
So John Wick,
Battle of New York in from the Avengers movies, basically any of the Avengers fights are kind of sort of taken off the table, but the Iron Man versus Captain America that's a fight.
So Iron Man versus Captain America versus with Bucky. It was Iron Man versus Captain America and Winter Soldier. Is that a fight, or is that a fight? Okay,
that's a fight. That's a fight.
So
that's a fight, because those aren't armies. Those. I mean, it's groups of people fighting, but I wouldn't consider that an army. I'm saying an army. Like, yeah.
I'm choosing John Wick 2. No, John Wick 3. Halle Berry and John Wick, whatever Halle Berry's character's name was, versus and those dogs versus everybody else. That fight sequence with the specifically forget about Halle Berry and John Wick, the dogs, the German Shepherds or whatever they are.
Yeah.
I will put the movie on. I will fast forward to that. I will watch that scene and I will turn it off. That's all I need. That is all I need.
Okay.
What you going with? What are one of your options? And when I said assassin, I was thinking about like the John Wicks, your Jason Bournes, your Red Sparrow, that type of stuff. But I mean, assassin can go any which way, I guess.
Oh, so we're going specifically with an assassin right now?
That was my choice, period.
Okay, that was your choice. Okay.
But I have
I was about to say, damn, that kind of threw me off. I'm gonna have to think about that.
No, but pick your fight.
All right, so I'm gonna pick my first pick is gonna be in martial arts.
And
it's gonna be Ip Man. When he fought in the Japanese dojo and he fought all those the Japanese one-on-one, or like in that group, that was one of the most amazing choreographed scenes I've ever seen. And then I would say any of the fight scenes in the raid. 1, 2, or 3.
Got you.
Or no, actually 1 and 2, because I hadn't seen the third one. But yeah, I don't know who's seen the raid, but if you've seen any of those fight scenes in the raid, my lord.
I have not, but I will check it out.
Yeah. As a Gareth, who did that? Who directed that? Whoever directed that needs to do Mortal Kombat. Or whoever choreographed those fights needs to do like Mortal Kombat.
Are you excited for that movie? Side note, the Mortal Kombat?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm not even that strong of a fan of the Mortal Kombat video game. I've played them, I enjoy them, but I don't really play fighting games like that.
I'm cool with the game. I thoroughly enjoy the violence, but am I trying to watch a movie about that? Nah.
Yeah, it's not much story there. It really depends on if I don't know. I haven't played the later ones. I think they've got more of a storyline in the newer Mortal Kombat games, but I don't know. It depends on the story. The combat and the fighting is like a given. Like that's the, you know what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't be lacking in the fighting category. Like that's what, if anything they get right about the Mortal Kombat, it's got to be the fighting and the gore and all that. But the story is where I'm like,
what are they about? Right.
Yeah, like how we.
That first one was awful.
Yeah,
it's gonna be. This is just gonna be action and gore. I'll say this: if the gore does not match the video games, then they've wasted their time, because that would be the only reason I would watch it. Like, what's the point? What else are we doing here if it's not equally as gory?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on in the comments? Kanar says John Wick 2, the last fight. That's the fight that ended with him shooting the man in the hotel. Yes. Oh boy, really thought John wasn't going to shoot him. He went in the hotel and was like, he had his leg crossing and anything. And John was like, oh, really? Bow!
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to be on run for the rest of my life, but it's whatever.
Yeah, he was bold. John Wick would, as far as if I'm picking in the assassin category, John Wick, any of his battles are like up there for me.
Yeah. Kanar says Hero with Jet Li when he fought off the army of arrows. Don't recall.
Yeah, see, that's another, because I don't know is that a battle? That's what I'm saying. Like, that could qualify to me as a battle too, which is, I mean, it's fine to put that in there, but it's like, I've got a lot of battles in mind that I would pick.
What if we save battles for next week, because I need time?
That's cool. That's cool.
We'll talk about the battles next week. My dad says Captain America versus Winter Soldier. Do you know how I feel about that movie? That's my movie. That's on my list too. And I would say any fight versus Winter Soldier was serious, because he got big. Even him trying to fight T'Challa in Civil War, that little fight sequence was a lot too, even though they didn't have that much time, but that was hefty.
Yeah, the camera use is so key in fight scenes, because if you don't use the camera to your advantage when you're shooting a fight scene like that is as important as the choreography. Like, and the camera work in Civil War was great in Winter Soldier. And I think in most of the later Marvel films, the choreography and the camera work got better with the fight scenes and fight sequences.
Definitely. Uncle Steve, we've recognized that there's a difference between a fight scene and a battle scene. So we're just talking about like small 1 to 2 people max, like one-on-one, maybe a couple other people, but no battles. So for example, the big battle scene at the end of Endgame is off the table. but you can absolutely talk about, you know, smaller fight scenes that they've had in the Marvel franchise. You are not obligated to stick to these categories, but I did throw some categories out to make things a little bit easier. I lost my thing.
Man, okay, so I got my fantasy pick though. I'm gonna do a fantasy pick, and then I'm gonna do a sci-fi. Well, God, I don't know. I can't do that, can I? Anyway, either way, I probably got multiple for that one.
The categories were assassins, superheroes, martial arts films, sci-fi, fantasy, and monster films. I would say a fight that's up there for me is King Kong versus the Skullcrawler in the Kong Skull Island, when King Kong grabbed the propeller joint with the chains, and he was using weapons.
Yeah,
he was like, forget the hands, I need a little assistance. That was, I mean, I love that movie. That whole movie was great, but he definitely got busy in that one. He was like, oh no, I need some assistance. The tail on this thing is doing a lot. What's your fantasy pick?
The Daredevil fight scenes in the I'm gonna pick those as well for my superhero combat. I thoroughly enjoyed the, and Punisher too was up there. That's tough, man. That's tough. There's a lot because I wasn't even thinking about TV.
By the way, Disney just got the rights to all of the Netflix Marvel shows, and Save Daredevil was trending last week on Twitter. The fans have made it known that they love the Daredevil show and they want the actor and the show to come back.
Yep.
So
he is, of all the shows, if I had to pick only one of the shows to come back, it's definitely Daredevil.
Yeah,
because from all 3 seasons were phenomenal to me.
They could keep
I would like Jessica Jones too. I like Jessica Jones.
I don't dislike, well, the first season just, oh my goodness, it felt like it was taking forever. There's no way to get close to this man. It was just a drag. And then what's Iron Fist? Throw the whole show away.
They can throw that all the way in the garbage. They can.
That was so awful.
That was horrible. That was horrible, bro. That was like DC level garbage.
I'm crying.
Like, I'm like, yo, who did they get the writers from the CW to come over here and write the Iron Fist? Because what is this?
Yeah, it was not interesting at all.
Oh man, I was like, yo, this is dry. This is dry, bro. It's like you're biting some like dry chicken. It's like turkey dry, man.
Popeye's biscuit dry?
Like, yes. That's basically Iron Fist. That show was horrible. That show, there's no redeeming quality in that show. And even in they couldn't even redeem him in like the Defenders. Like, that was just a train wreck too. Like, oh my goodness. I don't even remember the Defenders. I don't even know if I finished watching that season.
I didn't watch it at all because I never finished Iron Fist. I said, how I'm gonna watch this, and I didn't finish that, so I left it alone. Before you get into your fantasy pick, my dad says, can we give an honorable mention to the Anchorman fight scene? Absolutely, and I think we can add comedy as a category. So yes, if there is a comedy fight scene that you thoroughly enjoy, let's talk about it.
Hey, you know what?
Just because you said that, I got one right here. Miss Cooper.
That's hilarious because I just saw that. That's hilarious. That's definitely in there. I didn't even think about that, but yeah.
And whichever you go first before I give my comedy.
All right, so my fantasy pick,
mm-hmm.
my first fantasy pick is going to be from the Lord of the Rings,
mm-hmm.
when Legolas fought the elephant and he climbed up like that. That was like one of the hardest things I've seen in film. I'm putting that up there.
Which one was that?
In Return of the King, when they had that giant army of elephants came marching in, this dude, they had just come in off the boat with the ghosts behind them, and like he's staring down like this giant, like skyscraper size elephant, and he ducks under like or no, he grabs the tusk, like flips on top of it, like starts climbing up the side of the elephant on the arrows that are sticking out of his leg from the people that, because they've been like trying to shoot it in the legs with the arrows. He climbs up the arrows and then just shoots everybody on top of the elephant, then like cuts the little thing off that's carrying all the troops, that falls over. So he kills all of them, kills the pilot, and then shoots the elephant in the top of the head with 3 arrows, and it drops. I'm like, yo. And then he slides down the trunk as the elephant is falling. I'm like, bro, this dude, right? This is unreal. Give him a medal. Give him a medal. It's fire. That seems fire. Bro, I remember watching that in theaters, like, this dude right here. He's my favorite character in Lord of the Rings. That man don't miss.
What's your sci-fi fight?
Sci-fi fight. I have to think about sci-fi, technically.
My dad put a good one in there. Aliens, Ripley versus the alien queen with the cargo transport suit. That was a good one. Where she had on the big like thingy.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I guess sci-fi. Are we doing? I don't know. If we're crossing sci-fi fantasy too. I mean, I don't know, man.
What's your Star Wars pick?
Obi-Wan versus Anakin in Revenge of the Sith.
That'll do it.
It's up there for me. That's up there, and yeah. That's definitely be my pick number 1.
I'm trying to think of my favorite comedy one. I didn't even think about that. The Tyler Perry movie where the woman was beating up her fiance with the pot of grits and the cast iron pan. Quality.
Oh man. Comedy. Huh.
Comedy. I didn't spend time thinking about that, and now I'm sad because I feel like there's probably some really great comedy fights, and my brain is just drawing a blank right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back to the comedy joints. What's another category we put in there? We're doing we're talking about best fight scenes.
Best fight scenes across all genres: assassin, sci-fi, fantasy, martial arts movies, monster movies, comedies, just best fight scenes, period. Not battles, though. We're going to save battles for next week.
Yeah. That's why I'm drawing a blank now, because I was like, I got a bunch of battles.
The Eren versus the female Titan in the last episodes in Attack on Titan, season 1.
Oh
yes.
No, I don't. That's sorry, my fault. I don't remember that fight. But yes, that's why I was Owen. Obito Kakashi. Yeah, that's a great one. Anyway, sorry, my fault. Yeah, Naruto.
Gotcha.
Woo! Bro, there's some epic fades they shot in Naruto. Goodness gracious. There's some great fights in there. Every fight in Naruto to me is better than anything in Dragon Ball Z. Even though I love and adore Dragon Ball Z, the fights in Naruto, oh, man, no competition.
Okay, a good comedy fight. Sorry, you go.
Oh no.
Okay. The movie Black Knight with Martin Lawrence, where he does something and he goes back in time, like significantly, like to the 1700s or something, and all of a sudden, like he's a knight. This movie is old, but there's a scene where he has to do a duel, like on the horse with the big long spear thing that I don't know what it's called. Great comedy scene. That movie never comes on TV. I've seen it once.
Wait, what movie is this?
Black Knight starring Martin Lawrence. Something happens to him, and he.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that movie.
It's not streaming anywhere. I don't know why you can't see it ever. Oh, and then
you know what?
Versus Samuel L. Jackson's character in the McDowells in Coming to America, where Samuel L. Jackson was robbing the place, and Hakeem jacked him up with a broomstick.
Oh, that's coming to that's also coming to HBO.
No, that's Amazon Prime.
Amazon. Oh yeah. The Amazon brought it. Yeah.
Next week, December 12th, I think.
Oh, you know what? Monty Python. The when they're fighting the Black Knight in the because it's been memed like 50 million times, but that's a dude gets like his leg and his arms cut off. He's asking him to surrender, and he's like, "Oh, 'tis but a scratch." he's just hopping on one leg. That's a good one. Oh Lord, yes, any Madea fight. Yep, that's up there.
I told you the freaking, and that was Medea's idea, the grit ball. You get a pot of grits and then the cast iron pan. You go back and forth, grits pan.
Any of them fights.
Which fight are you referring to? It popped in my head because we were talking about comedy. If you're talking about Coming to America, it was a fight.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, bro. Like just martial arts films in general just have superior fight scenes, in my opinion. The choreography is always better, and then the emotional stakes, at least in cinema and film, they seem to be higher in the martial art films. But everything is revolved around the art of fighting, so it makes sense from that standpoint. What the King Arthur film from 2004, when he is fighting the Saxon king, that was a good fight. Emotionally charged.
I don't remember.
I feel like that movie's underrated. I don't know why people don't talk about that. It's probably something wrong with the lore, but I really like that movie. And the director was black too. It's different from Excalibur. It doesn't go into like it's not a lot of magic in all of that. In that, it's more like realistic, I think, telling of the King Arthur story and his knights of the Round Table. I like that version of the King Arthur story.
I'm trying to come up with more monsters, but I think my favorite ones might be battles. Some of my favorite monster films might be battle scenes, like the cabin in the woods at the end. That's a battle. No,
I think so. The number, yeah.
Even though it was really one-sided, but there was a lot of monsters involved.
Yeah, I mean, we normally go 2 hours and get into battles. Got time to do it. Another.
Dad, stop talking to the screen and start writing.
I think another pick for me on the Star Wars side would probably Ahsoka versus Maul is up there. Spoilers for anybody.
I've seen the clips, but I haven't finished the show yet. But I know the actor who played him actually did the scene for the show, right?
Yeah. Was it Rob Park? I believe his name is.
That's dope.
Oh, the Matrix fights. But yeah, like, and this is something I wish that they would do more often in animation, but do mocap, especially for that format of animating that they do in the Clone Wars and in Rebels, where it's like that computer generated animation. Like they can mocap the fight scene, and it's probably that to me is why it's one of the better fight scenes in Rebels. It's actually, as a matter of fact, it's the best fight scene in between Rebels and the Clone Wars, because you've got two martial artists mocapping the fight sequence, and then they just composite their movements in on top of the characters, and it looks amazing. Looks super realistic. Oh man, I'm surprised no one else has brought up Fight Club. It's been so long since I've seen Fight Club.
It's been a long time. The thing that
Lord have mercy.
No, we go ignore that. We're gonna ignore that. No, take that.
All the Matrix fight scenes are great.
Yes, there's some battles there too. The only thing.
Okay, now the worst fight scene in the Matrix is when all the CGI what you call it, Mr. Anderson's
come at Neo and then he flies away.
Neo. And he grabs that. He grabs the light pole and just starts spinning around in circles. That was so bad. That was so bad. Oh man. Duel of the Fates is also a good fight. Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon and versus Darth Maul. That's a Duel of the Fates fight. That's a good one. I really love the fight at the end of Return of the Jedi between Vader and Luke. That final fight, just emotionally charged fight. It's not like the best choreographed fight in the world, but the emotional stakes are great. I love that scene.
For all my Twilight fans, Edward versus Victoria in the third Twilight movie is quality. I think that was Eclipse. Yup. Never gonna can't exclude that fight. And then if we're talking battles, that scene at the very end of the last movie where they had the Volturi versus the Cullens, wild.
Are we gonna get into it? Are we doing battles? Can we get into battles? Hey, do y'all want to talk about? Let us know in the chat if y'all want to talk about let's talk battles. Let's do battle scenes.
Hey, saying what was okay, the fight? If you're talking about the Twilight fight, it was epic because I was young when it came out and it still feels the same way to me when I rewatch it. Thank you. And I took my book to the movie theater and my mom told me I was a nerd and I didn't care. I'll do it again.
Yo, no one brought up boxing. Nobody brought up Rocky or Ali.
Well, it's a fighting movie.
It is a fighting movie. That's a good one. Oh man, I can't say my favorite quote from that movie on this. Oh man, I love that movie though.
All right, so if we're talking battles, of course we can't forget about both Infinity War and Endgame. But the scene in Infinity War where Thor gets to Wakanda after using the Rainbow Bridge, and he Rocket and
that's the best when he
and then he zapped everybody.
Infinity War.
No, I'm talking about Infinity War when he came after getting his new hammer and he got to Wakanda and zapped everybody.
That's the greatest, bro. That's the greatest intro in the Marvel franchise. Like point that intro and everything that happened after that, complete flames. Flames.
That might arguably be like my favorite scene. Is there a better moment?
As far as in fights, as far as battles and fights. No, I wouldn't say anything is better than that. That was a great intro.
The only thing that makes me feel the same way is when Captain America picked up the hammer in Endgame. And remember how you felt when you saw the hammer floating and all of a sudden it was in Captain America's hands? I don't know if you screamed at the screen, but I sure did. And so did everybody else in the theater I was with.
Nah, I did. I didn't. No.
What?
Because Mjolnir, that's Thor's weapon, man.
Right, and the fact that he could wield it, that means he was worthy. And
I wasn't okay with that.
Oh goodness.
I wasn't okay with that.
I mean, Thor himself hasn't been worthy all the time. He has his moments where he's not worthy.
Yeah. But that's his hammer. Now him taking the other axe, like the big axe, I got no problem with that one. Like, but to me, it's Mjolnir, man. Mjolnir Mjolnir is Thor's weapon. That's his weapon. But yo, that fight scene, when Thor's intro in Infinity War, when the Rainbow Rosen Bridge pops up, and then like when he jumps up in the air and the sky turns black. Come on, like
eyes glow. Oh yeah.
But I'm a Thor fan, so it's just like, I've been waiting for Thor to act like Thor for the entire 22 films, and you finally give me the most Thor moment ever.
Definitely, I
said 300 is racist as hell, but yeah.
I was gonna put that up for battles.
Are great.
Yeah, it's a racist but very active movie. Yeah, there's a lot of good fights.
Gladiator. Yeah, Gladiator. Yo, but Gladiators, that's a fight that definitely should have been in the conversation when we were talking about the fights too. Unless it is,
we can have those combos together.
Yeah, it's crossfading now. We're crossfading. Battles. Okay, my pick though. Return of the King. When the Riders of Rohan arrive at the Battle of Minas Tirith, and like it's like I don't know how many thousand horseback riders, and then the king gives that like great battle speech before they ride into battle and like trample like half of the orc army on horseback. I've never seen anything like that before that movie came out. Like that fight sequence, that battle is amazing. That battle is amazing, bro. I still get hype off that battle.
To everyone who is watching us right now and won't write in the comments, stop texting me your opinions and put them in the comments so we can put them on screen, please and thank you. My dad says the opening scene from Save It Private Ryan when they rush the beach and get slaughtered.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, that thing is crazy. Hey, you speaking of on that note, have you seen We Were Soldiers?
That doesn't ring a bell.
It's a Vietnam War movie. It's got what's his name? It's directed by what's that crazy guy's name? Anyway, it's Vietnam-based film. That's some of the craziest stuff I've seen. Like it's testament to how crazy that the Vietnam War was. Black Hawk Down is another great pick.
I'm going to choose, this is kind of a battle scene, but also a little bit of monster involved. Edge of Tomorrow came out in 2004, starring Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt.
That's definitely a battle.
That's, the beach scene that Tom Cruise is reliving over and over again. And he's learning the choreography so that he can survive. And you're just seeing him go through the same battle over, dying in different ways each time until he can finally survive the battle. Yeah. That's the one for me. That's the one for me. Yeah, that's an epic monster battle right there.
Yeah, do I have a pick for monster? I don't really have. I don't think I have a pick for monsters. I'm still disappointed with the guy. Like I can't give Godzilla their they haven't given me enough action in the Godzilla stuff yet. I need Godzilla. I need more carnage in Godzilla before I give Godzilla my pick for monsters. Alien vs Predator.
I was thinking about it, but I don't know if I would put them as like the top ones.
I don't know about,
because they're not really fights. It's just one gets slaughtered real fast. They're not really like going at it. Unless it's the queen is involved. Your mom says Independence Day.
Independence Day is good too.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I just thought about something too. Jurassic Park 3. It was very disrespectful. What turned me off from Jurassic Park 3 was when that damn dinosaur killed the T-Rex. I was so pissed. I'm like, how you can't kill the T-Rex, bro.
What dinosaur killed the T-Rex?
The one with the spine, it's got the one with the what's it called? The Spinosaurus, I think is what it's called. But it's got that big dorsal fin on its back.
I don't remember.
It's like in the opening, like the T-Rex gets killed by it, and it's bogus. Turn me off from the movie.
When after they land the plane.
Yeah, I hated it.
That's because we've been conditioned to believe that the T-Rex is the only dinosaur, like was the big bad, but he like there's other guys out there that were quality. It's just his size, but I mean,
no, this is Jurassic Park. T-Rex is king.
I mean, the way they film the movies, the Raptor is king.
Yeah, but the Raptors don't want to smoke with the T-Rex. They got to go in packs. Like the ending of Jurassic Park 1, when the T-Rex runs through the thing, and they got like it's like what 4 or 5 little raptors in there, and he kills all of them, and then the little sign comes down and it says King of the World. What? That's how that from that moment on, you can't put anybody or any other dinosaur over the T-Rex.
The point over that was to show that it ain't safe out here. Oh wait, back to your mom real quick, because Independence Day, I do like all of that, and the second Independence film was trash. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
I never even attempted to go see that movie.
Bother. Eli says Captain America: The Civil War Berlin Airport, Team Cap versus Team Iron Man. Yeah, that's a battle.
Good
Not
battle.
with an army, but that's a battle. I still believe that the shining star in that fight was Ant-Man. Everybody has negative things to say about Ant-Man all the time, but I do believe that he is that dude and he deserves respect. Okay, just because he's a little goofy doesn't mean he doesn't handle his business. Thank you. Yeah. Uncle Steve here to defend me. Captain America picked up Thor's hammer in the comics. What's the problem? What's the problem? Cool.
It's Thor's hammer.
But he was worthy. And Thor wasn't always worthy. He has his moments.
That's fine. But if Thor can't pick up the hammer, then nobody picks up the hammer. That's my opinion. I've got nothing to back this up on, just all my personal feelings. Like, I don't want anybody else wielding Thor's hammer but Thor.
In the new movie that's coming out with Natalie Portman, she's gonna hold it.
Not hype about it.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna watch it, but I'm just not. It's Thor's hammer. Mjolnir. Like, there are other weapons, but that one, that's Thor's. Just like, I mean, I if someone else like picks up Luke's green lightsaber and starts fighting with it, I'm gonna have a real problem with that. Like, that's his lightsaber. Like, nah, no, negative. Nope.
I'm not even gonna argue. Kong versus the dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, Ayo, that was fire.
You know what was nasty? The insect scene when the insects were attacking the people.
Bruh,
that wasn't a battle.
Didn't Kong rip the T-Rex mouth open and then bite his tongue and pull that joint out? In that one? Yes, yeah, that's definitely what happened. That's definitely what, like, he grabs the T-Rex, like I think he puts it in a headlock, and then like rips his jaw open, and then bites his tongue, rips out and spits it. I was like, yo, this dude right here is insane. It's insane.
Held his head, like how Godzilla did the Muto in the first Godzilla movie, where he held his mouth open and shot the fire beam in there.
Yeah.
Nastiness. The comments are still split on the
Thor hammer.
Thor hammer, yes. I can't stop thinking about.
I don't even who. Better Ray Bill. That's the alien, right? I don't know anything about Beta Ray. I've heard of him, and I know that he's I know of him, and then I know that he also wields Mjolnir. I don't know that story though.
I don't know who Beta Ray is. I gotta do my homework on that.
Yeah, I think another thing for me, going back to Star Wars, iconic are the space battles. And one of my favorite space battles in Star Wars is Rogue One. Um, the I like seeing the ships drop out of hyperspace. It's just one of the coolest things to me. Like especially the capital ships. Yeah. When the rebel fleets arrives and starts its assault on that, love that scene, love that whole sequence. And then when Vader drops out of hyperspace in his ISD and like decimates the remaining rebel forces, that was great too.
I didn't even think about space battles. If that's the case, then we gotta talk about Ender's Game. Did you see Ender's Game?
Yeah, that was cool. I like those stuff, but it's like the hive minds. I think it was cool. I like that.
Yeah,
I liked it. I liked it
too.
Yes, the space battle in episode 3, fire, flames. That intro, like we got the Anakin and Obi-Wan. They're in their Jedi starfighters, and they do a low pass over the Venator battle cruiser, and then they bank left, and then they flip, and then do a nosedive, and then the camera angle pans, and then you got this huge space battle. That was fire.
Khan versus everybody in Star Trek Into Darkness, but specifically the scene where they land on the planet where the Klingons are, and the Klingons are getting ready to kill them, and then Khan comes out of nowhere and zaps everybody with the shooting skill. It wasn't the intro, but it was
it's like near the beginning. Oh, never mind. It was near the beginning.
Yes.
Near the beginning.
This is after Kong caused that building to explode, and then he went into hiding, so they went to go get him.
And they had to go into
stopped them, like, yo, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be here. And then Kong took them out by himself. And I remember the other people were like, yo, what do we do? And he was just going to town. So yeah, Kong did that.
Yeah, those that was a good. I liked those. I liked the third one though more than most people did. I like the third one. The third one to me felt more like Star Trek than the other two films did. Even though I enjoyed the first two films, but the third one felt like a real Star Trek film. The first two kind of feel like Star Wars a lot more so than Star Trek.
You think so?
Yeah.
So the third one with Idris Elba felt like Star Trek to you?
That felt like more like a Star Trek story than like the first two. Like the first two, it's because of the action and the pacing in all the pace of the film was paced just like a Star Wars movie. Whereas like the third one is like a little bit more drawn out, and there's a lot. It's more like the Star Trek shows are, and the movies. Like,
got you.
The tone of and the pacing are significantly different for Star Trek and Star Wars.
I'm wondering if that's because it's a film and it's the late 2000s. Like, would they have success if they were?
J.J. Abrams directed it, and that was his guy. He was doing Star Wars with Star Trek.
Got you.
And it just came across that way. Like I always felt like it was, even before they announced that he was doing Star Wars, The Force Awakens. Watching those Star Trek movies, I was like, why does this feels like Star Wars to me?
Got you.
Like it felt like the prequels.
Got you.
Not that I didn't. I enjoyed them, but it was like, yeah, tonally this doesn't, because there are a lot of the fans were complaining that the films felt like Star Wars, and I was like, yeah, I kind of do get that vibe from it, and that's what I think I liked about them. But then going back and watching Next Generation and then even the Star Trek films, there's a different style and pace and tone to those movies than what J.J. Abrams did in those first two films.
I must love the action then, because the third one with Idris Elba is my least favorite, probably because of the pace.
Yeah, I liked it. because it reminded me of the TV shows.
My dad says the Avatar Forest battle was great.
That was a great battle. Yeah, that definitely was a great battle.
He just reminded me the Legend of Tarzan movie that came out with Alexander Skarsgård. At the end of the movie, the battle scene where he got all of the animals to attack the port. So first there was the wildebeest stampede, then the lions came in behind him to do damage, and then the hippos were jacking up everybody in the water, and then the alligators were the last round to jack up the main antagonist. Yeah, that was a good fight scene. Shout out to my mom. We watch that every time it's on TV.
The Planet of the Apes battles too are really good. The new ones, the new films.
I haven't seen the last one. I need to check it out though. I was watching a clip of when Caesar was not necessarily interrogating, but speaking to four humans, like he had them on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just out of the loop, and I was like, I need to know what's up with this.
Yeah.
Dad, I'm looking forward to more fights. Like I would like to see Navi versus Navi fighting in the next Avatar film. I hope there's no humans involved, at least for one film. Like let them have a civil war or something. But yeah.
Civil War. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. What other battles? Oh, I mean, Battle of the Bastards was great.
Definitely.
Even though we don't like talking about Game of Thrones, but like that was a great battle. Great battle.
We can't ignore the rolling wall of White Walkers either in that 6th episode of the final season.
Yeah. Yeah. When with that first encounter, that first battle.
I appreciate how dark it was because it made it scarier, but sometimes I wish it was lighter just so that I could see how powerful that looked, because it was a wall of White Walkers, and we still can't really appreciate how many were there because we can't see. Even though I still hate that the battle ended so quickly. But yeah, that's the most epic battle for me.
I still can't get over how bad that last season was and how much that ruined the entire show for me. Like I can't get any enjoyment out that show anymore. Like there are some great things that I would love to rewatch, but I just can't do it because of just how much that last season was horrible, just bad. I was just bad.
You know you're gonna rewatch something just to be angry again. So you're like, why?
Yeah, I just know how this turns out, and it's just like, oh, it's so disappointing. It's just disappointing. Oh man.
My dad and my uncle are texting me at the same time, and I sent you a text message with a picture of Beta Ray Bill from my father so that you know who that is.
I mean, look, my phone is my camera, so
yeah.
I am. I know who I've seen what the character looks like because they're. I was watching something on YouTube. Somebody was talking. I think somebody was speculating on what the next, before we knew Love and Thunder was coming out and that it would be titled Love and Thunder. Someone was speculating on what the next Thor movie could be, because in Ragnaroks they tease Beta Ray Bill. He's there's a statue in the arena, and his head, you can see a bust of Beta Ray Bill's head on the I guess, what is it, the Wall of Champions? I don't know what it's called, but like there are all these former champions and competitors that have been memorialized on that, and he was one of those. So I kind of looked him up and saw like what he's about, but I don't know his story more than that.
I wonder if they're gonna bring him in ever.
I would say, yeah. I mean, if they tease him like that in Ragnaroks, like I would imagine that they're going to bring him in. I don't see them doing that for no reason, unless they're like doing some like secret trilogy stuff where they just tease and have no intention of actually following through with those teases.
I have another comedy fight. The fight in the bedroom from Step Brothers.
Oh yes, it's a great one. I was about to say that, yo. I was about to say that.
Definitely. I need to watch that movie again. Is it streaming anywhere? Let me check.
Step Brothers was hilarious, yo. Like,
Yo, the bunk bed thing is still hilarious to me, especially
that entire
streaming anywhere. You gotta pay for it.
yeah. If you haven't seen Step Brothers, man, go watch that movie, yo. That's nothing but pure comedy from start to finish. That joint is hilarious.
We don't talk about comedy enough on here. We might have to have a comedy conversation because we
if we do that, we got to have JBM on here because that is his preferred genre. So if we're gonna talk comedy, he's got to be on the show. He's got to lead the conversation on that one.
We won't plan that ahead. We'll talk to him in the background because we got to talk.
We're gonna need him on that one.
We don't talk about it enough.
Yeah.
Look at
what
the
else?
In the chat talking. The uncles and the dads.
Yo, is Thor like a point of contention now? Is Thor the new Batman? In the community?
Maybe it's an age thing.
Yeah,
it's having full conversations. They said forget about us.
That's fire though. Hey, listen, do you think?
I need my dad and Uncle Steve to join the Discord. Oh, drop that link, Hoop.
Oh yeah. Speaking of, and we got it was about 10 minutes left.
15.
The stream. 15 minutes. Definitely, if you're watching and you hadn't, well, no, we got 13 likes. So hey, appreciate the likes. But make sure if you haven't, make sure you like the video and subscribe if you have not to the channel. We got content. This show we do every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely hop in, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get a notification anytime we go live. I am dropping a link to the Discord in the chat. Click on that, join us. We have conversations in the Discord every day, all day about any number of topics that we would talk about on this show and more. And if you would like to further support the channel, we have a coffee page that you can donate. Buy us a coffee. It's $3 donation minimum. And if you want to do more, that's perfectly fine. We are not picky about that, and we appreciate any support that you can give us. Subscriptions go a long way. Likes help us tremendously. It helps grow the channel. It helps get us in front of other audiences so that we can grow organically and continue to grow. So all of that is helpful. We definitely appreciate all the support that we've been getting since June, July. When did we start this channel?
I think June or July.
Yeah.
June, because I remember we were off for the 4th.
Yeah, I think the first episode was like right before the 4th. And then we took that week and then we resumed, and we've been doing it every Saturday since. I think we had a few stoppages, maybe one or two, but for the most part
at one time. But other than that, we've been consistent.
Yeah, we've been pretty consistent. We've also got if you're watching The Mandalorian every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we stream. It's usually me and JBM and maybe a guest host from time to time. But we'll do a recap of each episode of The Mandalorian on Fridays after the episode airs on Disney Plus. So that's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. So definitely tune in. We only got 2 more episodes left in the season. I'm kind of bummed about that, but man, this has been a great season 2. And on Sundays, I got Star Wars Sundays where I talk about Star Wars. It's general topic, just community discussion. Join the I think I'm gonna do at 7. What did I do last week? 6 or 7 p.m. Same time. 7. I might move it to 7 p.m. tomorrow. I think it's a good time. I think it's between 6 and 7 p.m. is a good time to start. But yeah, I just have general conversations about Star Wars. Last week we talked about the top 5 video games of all time for Star Wars. That was the topic I had. My man P. Rich, he will probably be joining me tomorrow again.
Nice.
For that episode. I don't know what the topic is. What am I? I would think I'm going to talk about the Clone Wars. I want to have a conversation about the Clone Wars.
I'm gonna finish those in 2021.
All right. What season are you on?
1.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. 2021 sounds
21. I'm
manageable.
gonna get through it.
Maybe should I talk about the Clone Wars? I don't know what I want to talk about.
You can. I just won't watch.
I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. Honestly, I haven't decided yet. I will. It'll be in the thumbnail of the video tomorrow when I schedule it to go live. But if you want to talk about Star Wars, man, please join me on Sunday tomorrow. It's been fun. I think I did an hour the first day and an hour and a half last week. So
y'all are not too old for Discord. All that energy you just put into these comments, you could put into Discord too. These comments, you're gonna leave this this conversation and then that's it. And AOL, oh goodness. Y'all are funny. Not an AOL chat room. For next week's community discussion, we recently added music to the Discord, and I think it would be dope to talk about our favorite film soundtracks. Well, we can talk about TV too, because there's been some really good music in TV, but our favorite soundtracks or scores. Why are you laughing?
Like, come on. And there's no like guessing what mine is. Like, come on, it's not gonna be gonna be that hard.
I think every episode we know off top what your choice is for the most part.
The bias is there. It's just gonna happen. But hey, man, John Williams is a legend. Okay, that dude. I might just have it. You know what? I'm just gonna say John Williams, and I'm gonna talk about how great John Williams is because he scored a lot of movies. If you don't know, that man's a legend.
Let's do it. I have multiple soundtracks and scores. I think only one score that really gets me, but definitely a few soundtracks I have the CDs of to this day. Thank you, Dad. Uncle Steve, get with the program. They have an Discord app for Android, even though you don't want to, come to the dark side. You can still have Discord on your phone. My dad agrees, so he would be.
Did you do your do you have Apple Music or Spotify or Tidal?
I have Tidal and Apple Music. I signed up for Apple Music by accident, and I want them to give me my money back, but I have it. But
okay, so did you do your music recap?
I use Tidal more, so my recap on Apple Music was really slim. But the song I listened to most in 2020 on Tidal was Sir's John Redcorn.
That's a great song though.
It is a great song, but dang.
Yeah, I had oh dang, I can't pull my phone up.
While you look for it, there was a person on Twitter that listened to 949 minutes or hours. No, I think it was minutes.
It's by hours.
949 hours of NBA YoungBoy.
That's insane.
That man
just one artist.
949 hours of NBA YoungBoy. First of all, to listen to NBA YoungBoy for one solid hour is criminal. That man woke up every single day and chose violence. Every day.
Exactly.
Every day. Woke up ready. He woke up with his clothes on already.
Yeah, that's insane.
But that's how he woke up. His boots were on and ready to go every single day.
Yeah, I listened to 587 different artists this year. And I think that's lower for me than normal because normally I would have probably listened to more because I didn't listen to any club music because I couldn't go to the club dance music. So a lot of the music I listened to was I listened to so many different genres and different like artists. I just 100. It's 120 some albums, different albums that I listened to over the year, and then 500 some artists, or close to 600 artists. That was dope.
My favorite place to consume music is in the car. So we haven't been driving as much in 2020, or at least I haven't since I've been working from home. So yeah, I like to listen to music in the car and podcasts. My podcast game has fallen off significantly because I'm just not in the car as much. Believe It by Party Next Door and Rihanna. Believe it. Okay, I like that one.
Oh, what was my most listened to song? I don't know what. Do I have that? Can I pull that up? I can't pull it up.
Oh, my number 2 most listened song of the year was Hair Down by Sir. And number 3 was The Recipe by Sir. So clearly, Sir and I were going through lots of emotions this year because those are the most emotional songs on the album.
Oh, man, I listen to music everywhere.
I listen
tell by the amount of music.
I like to consume music in the car. Like my thing is to put on an album and listen to it all the way through. If I'm just chilling in the house, like I have my playlist for things and I might add stuff. But new music, like I'll never forget the first time I heard the new Griselda album in the car. That was an experience. Like I don't even think I got through it. I kept backing stuff up. I missed that. ICQ anybody? I don't know what it means. ICQ. I'm Googling.
Yeah, I was gonna say no. I got like I was listening to UK grime. Like my playlist is all over the place. Plays was all over the place. The Wake Up This Day was my most listened to song.
By who?
Tom Misch and Jordan Reiki.
Uncle Steve, I'm sorry to tell you that I just had to Google what ICQ is. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry because, like, how was I supposed to know? But still, my bad.
Oh, this is a message board?
It's like apparently it would tell you when your friends were on the internet.
Ah, interesting.
But apparently they still use it. Like it's still a thing.
First I've heard of it.
It was released November 15th, 1996. I was 3.
Oh yeah, Earth Gang is up there for me. I listened to a lot of Earth Gang, JID.
I did too.
Mariba is on my I listened to that album like
West Side Gun, yo. I do that all day in the house.
I listen to a lot of the Free Nationals. Yeah.
We got to save the music convo for next week.
Yeah, we do.
Shouts out to my dad for joining the server. Just got the notification on my phone. Uncle Steve, you still have time. I mean, you don't have to do it before we end today, but today,
you know
you can.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Stormzy. shout out Smino. I listen to a lot of Smino too. Yo, have you heard of Koji Radical?
No.
Fire. Flames. I had Sonder on here too. Skepta. Fighting Temptations. That was and wait. No, this is for tomorrow. Say that for next Saturday. Next Saturday. That's the movie. I think she's talking about the Fighting Temptations score.
Yes, let's stop talking about the movie talk before we run out of things to talk about next week. Because we got more music talk next week.
Yeah, music. Yeah, good God. Music be crazy. Did you just say sports? I guess we'll have to have a sports talk too. Somebody said sports.
Real quick, yo, let us say a prayer for Nate Robinson. He didn't deserve to go out like that. I'm gonna pray for my guy. I don't know about y'all, but he ain't deserved that. So I'm gonna say multiple prayers. No one wanted him to go out like that. So let me say, so since we collectively did not want him to go out bad, post your memes.
But talked him into doing that. Why? I mean,
he talked himself into doing that because Jake Paul was acting a fool during the George Paul protests and decided to go loot and act a fool. And that's what, sparked, the racism conversation with him. And then Nate Robinson called him out. That was after he had already had his initial fight.
Okay, so I didn't know about that with Nate Paul. I knew he was one of those YouTubers that was doing wild stuff and made a lot of money.
Oh.
And then he stopped and got into MMA, and he's had, I think, 1 or 2 professional bouts as an MMA fighter. And I'm like, why is Nate Robinson fighting this dude? Because Nate Robinson's never seen the inside of a gym, of a boxing ring, a day in his life. Why would you do that? And dude is out. He's not in. They're not in the same weight class or the same size. Like, that was stupid.
I agree with all of that. I'm just saying I'm going to pray for him anyway. But yes, let this be a lesson to those who do not box and do not practice MMA. Do not get in the ring or an octagon with these people, because you're going to be on the floor.
Yeah, I would pray for him if he got beat up on the street and it was not like if they didn't agree to fight. He made these poor decisions.
He did, but we all make that decision.
He needs to go pray.
He needs to go pray for himself,
because he is clearly not in the right state of mind. And he's making some poor decisions.
He might have been knocked back into it now.
Let's hope so. Let's pray for that he makes better decisions from here on out.
Side note: Mike Tyson saying that he smoked weed before the fight is hilarious.
Hey, listen. That was the only reason why I was even watching. Cause, yeah, thank you, Heem. Wait a second. Where's it? That's exactly how I feel. You chose your life, you lose. Call it a day. That's how we gonna end. You chose your life, you lose. Should have chose better. That's all I'm gonna say.
Dang.
His reasoning, I understand. I understand the racism and not liking that and can't let that ride. I understand that. I understand all of that.
He just chose the wrong racist to beat up.
But why he thought that he was the one that needed to go in that ring, that's beyond me.
They should have played a horse.
Yeah, you know what? Why didn't you just challenge him one-on-one to a game of basketball and just dunk on him one time? Nate Robinson won a dunk contest. He's a reigning dunk champion. That's what we needed. That's what we needed. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, let's not put any more bad ideas in the mind of Nate Robinson. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is probably what we're going to end this episode here.
Yes.
You got any closing remarks? Any final statements?
Thank you all for watching and speaking with us tonight and vibing with us. I love you all. What's this, episode 21?
Hey, yo. Hey, did you see the Simple meme? Oh, God, that was great.
I saw a lot of memes. The
Simple meme when Simba was pushing him.
The emergency meeting.
God, that was great.
Everybody, but that Among Us emergency meeting, like that.
Snoop Dogg's color commentary. Oh man, it saved it for us.
Hey, they look like two of my uncles fighting. Get him, Get him,
Snoop's color commentary was everything in that for that whole fight.
Nate. Don't let the white boy get you, Nate. Get up, Nate. I was like,
God, that was phenomenal. That's exactly.
Snoop and Triller have are creating their own boxing league. So that's
I heard that.
Happening. Yeah. So there's going to be more of this, and I'm thankful because I need to see
Snoop Dogg's color commentary for that fight was like some of the best stuff that we got. It's a highlight of 2020 for sure. Yeah. That's a 2020 highlight. That was like legendary. But anyway, we're gonna let y'all get out of here. It's 10 o'clock, 10:05 Eastern Standard Time. Appreciate you all for joining us again tonight. It's been wonderful. Hope we see you again in the comment section. And as I always say, Peace, love, blessings, and
Uncle
may the
Steve
force
just made it
be
into
with
the
you.
server.